Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the free-to-play Strength Videl, the Indomitable breakthrough, thank you, Strength Videl, and how good she is after her Extreme Z Awakening. Now Strength Videl recently got her Extreme Z Awakening from an Extreme Z area. She is a movie Heroes category lead of Key +3, 77% attack and defense, and she's a strength type lead of 50, but this isn't too important. She greatly raises her defense in one turn, whilst also lowering the enemy's defense greatly. She has Key +1 up to 3 and attack and defense of 50% up to 150% per movie Heroes category ally on the team. She has an additional 5% evasion plus up to 15% per movie Heroes category ally in the same turn as the first attacker. We'll talk about that now. She has an additional 120% when performing a super attack, and she has a high chance of evading the enemy's super attack as well. She gets an additional 120% defense for 5 turns after evading an attack, and gets an additional defense of 50% with a chance of evading the enemy's attack plus 8% within the same turn with each attack evaded, which is similar to like MUI, Goku, Whis, etc. She gives all allies Key +1 and attack and defense of 30%, and then will give all allies an additional 20% attack and defense for 2 turns, and launch an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack as the first attacker in the turn. How it works, basically, she has a baseline 50% evasion. She gets an additional 15% from movie Heroes, which will proc her into the 65% category. She then gets an additional 8% with every dodge that she performs. So she has 65%, and then if she dodges, it will go up to 73, 81, etc. So once you can get the ball rolling, she can dodge very, very well. Like, she can dodge incredibly well. Very cool unit, very cool design, interesting design. I think, like we saw in Trunks, who is a great unit, by the way. We saw how good he is. We saw all the good benefits he provides as a pseudo evasion tank, and Videl feels like that, but on a slightly different level. Videl has a lower initial dodge, but her subsequent dodges are a lot stronger than Trunks's. Trunks needs to dodge 5 attacks to proc his guaranteed dodge, whereas Videl, after 2 attacks, is probably pretty much guaranteed to dodge the next. So once you get that first initial ball rolling, she can be very good. In terms of build, evasion is definitely the way to go here. She's got built-in additionals, which is great. She has that built into her kit. She very clearly, to be useful, has to be the first attacker. If she's the first attacker, she provides a lot more benefits to your team. She has a much higher dodge chance, and if you build her full evasion, so if you can give her 20 or 30 evasion, depending on how high you can get it with equips and everything, her effective dodge chance at that point is pretty close to like 76-77% upon like her initial being out, because she got 65%, then she have 30% of the other 35, so it becomes like 9.87 or whatever. It becomes like obviously quite a decent chunk. That pushes her up to like 75% effective dodge, and then she dodges once and then it's game over. So once she gets that initial dodge, she can be very, very good. And I think this video shows that, whereby she dodges and then she kind of feels like she just keeps dodging, and her defense goes up, and her start turn defense, after that initial dodge to proc that 120% is really good. I mean, 500k for free-to-play unit of 450 is pretty good. Cold Judgment's a bit difficult to activate for her based on the team she has, but you don't need to prioritize links with her. She's giving a lot of units like 50% support as the first attacker in the turn. So you don't have to give her you don't have to give her Cold Judgment. You can if you want to, but generally speaking, just try to give her like the movie Heroes requirement more than anything, and she'll come out okay, because she'll provide enough support to make up for her bad links with other units. Is she a rock star unit? No. Is she an interesting niche unit that can be useful in a lot of content? I think yes. She's that kind of unit who you'll whip out when you're desperate to beat a challenge or do an item run or something like that, and she'll perform in that instance. Obviously, if she can't evade, if the event disables evasion, it's a bit of a problem for her. but I think those events are few and far between, to the point where I think Videl genuinely is a very fun, interesting option, much like Trunks from my other video. I think she's actually a very well designed, very cool, interesting unit that you can use and achieve a lot with. Yes, you need RNG to be in your favor a little bit, but the payoff is pretty worth it, and that means that she could potentially be useful for quite a while. You're obviously banking on her dodging, but the fact is that if she does start to dodge, she just tends to keep going, and I think that's really, really cool. Couple that with support and a pretty solid-ish raw defense stat, I think she could be a solid, fun, free-to-play option.